You're watching 32-Bit Land. If you enjoy what we do, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for future notifications.
Hello there, 32-Bit Landers. I have here with me GTO. Hey GTO, what's up?
Hey, good afternoon / good morning to y'all.
Mark,
Good morning, sunshine!
Hello, I've been ready. I went for a shit. I said I'll be ready in 10 minutes, and then Bruce said he's just setting up, and then I've just been sat on the bed, just like messing on my phone, waiting for Bruce to say ready.
What? Waiting for you in the bed? What? Okay.
Not on the bed waiting.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there, man.
I'm ready, Bruce.
So,
are you guys ready for the emotional segment we've been talking about?
Wait. Here we go. GTO, take it away.
All right, so I assume you're talking about the meat of this emotional promise, right? Okay, I love group chats. I love being a social gamer, partially because my life isn't very social in general. Ha ha ha! Come on, give me the ha ha ha.
We're not social either. We're sitting on a Sunday making a call to each other, and you're sitting in Shanghai.
All right. This is my fucking rant. I'm continuing on now. All right, so. The way I've been seeing things in the last couple of years is a lot of times I get put off from playing games that I want to play because I'm sorry, I hate to say it, there's a shit ton of negative assholes out there. Assholes that will ruin your game for you before it even comes out by calling it, this is nothing new, or, oh, this is so dated. Like, oh my god. Okay, so we look at all the genres we play, right? Whether it's RPG, whether it's action, hack and slash, or even the racing, sports. Right? Everything is dated. Even something that comes out with a new idea, even these nindies, we're still inspired by something. And I guess what really got me on this is because I know a bunch of people who love RPGs. The topic of Octopath came up in another group chat that I was in, and some guy who loves RPGs. I'm not going to mention who this guy is.
Well, you know like, who you are.
Yeah, you fucking know who you are. He's like, oh my gosh, Octopath was such a huge disappointment. It provided nothing new. All right, now as somebody who's
metrosexual mad voice,
is he that camp? Yeah, is he that camp?
Are you...
Look. Don't you try to predict the GTO, okay? GTO is whatever he wants to be at that moment. All right. So anyway, at this moment, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm feeling because as I sit there and I play Octopath and it's like 2.5 3D glory and it's 16-bit presentation with one of the best freaking soundtracks I've heard in half a decade or longer.
Hallelujah.
And I sit there and I look at these 25 beautifully designed cities that are all independent in feel, have their own music, have their own characters and side stories, and like, of course, it's not like your big, huge, tied together narrative that you want. It's not Final Fantasy 18. It's not Chrono Trigger 2. But there's so much freaking. I'm trying not to be so vulgar this episode. There's so much goddamn love in this game that I'm thinking, what the hell is disappointing about it? And then it starts reflecting to me. Devil May Cry 5 comes out, and I know it's not your thing, Mark, but like people are like, oh my god, this is so dated. It's such a repetitive formula. But like. Then there's the other thing that Mark loves. Yeah,
sometimes people just like, you're like, what did you expect? What did you want? Like, you can't get everything in one game. You know what I mean? Some people are.
Let me finish.
Yeah, please go on. Sorry.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, it's just...
Yeah. Resident Evil 2, right? That's Mark's thing, right? The whole premise of the game, the whole introduction, the whole way it's set up. Like, no, I'm not really spoiling anything here. The way you wind up in the city in the beginning and wind up in the police station and start solving puzzles and have to conserve ammunition. This is dated beyond all belief, but you look at the Metacritic scores for this and Devil May Cry 5 and even, like Sekiro, which is based off of the dated Souls formula, which is obviously based off of the dated King's Field formula, which is based off of the dated Castlevania / Zelda / freaking Dungeons and Dragons formula. All of these just so far in 1 year are potential Game of the Year candidates. And so this is kind of to all the negative fucks out there. Like, guys, it isn't that the games themselves are getting dated so much as gamers themselves are becoming jaded. Gamers are looking at things that they would have loved 10, 15 years ago and they're passing it off as, this is nothing special, just because of their own personal circumstances, because a lot of gamers have become full of stress or things in their lives that have changed their perspective on things. But I do think that it's a really big issue as gamers get older. We start.
There is a lot of whining, pissy.
Yeah. We got to keep that color alive, people, and that's what I wanted to talk about in this topic. Is because just because you don't love people who don't love a genre aren't going to love a genre just because it releases a sequel. But if Dated was a thing, we wouldn't still be having Final Fantasies. We wouldn't still be having Marios. I mean, Mario Odyssey innovated a lot, but I mean, it's still you run around and you jump. Okay, like it's fucking Mario. Like Zelda, you still run around and you fucking kill Ganon and save the world. This kind of here. Stuff. Yeah.
I'm sorry to.
Gotta keep the color alive, people.
Yeah, you were in a flow, but
I'm used to it.
Dude,
yeah.
Fuck you.
Shoot.
The premise.
Man, fuck you too. Shoot.
Yeah. The premise is the games are all, but this covers reboots like God of War, like Spider-Man.
Yes, it does.
Right?
Yes, it does.
So
it covers gaming in general.
Why are they not dated? And why are these games, which are sequels only, dated? That's just.
I've heard people call them dated too. I mean, look at God of War, Game of the Year last year. Okay, I mean, it's despite its innovations.
Are you talking about the formula being dated? Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about people in general calling everything dated.
Yeah.
Like, okay, look at God of War as in its nice, glorious one-shot take and full cinematic story presentation. Ultimately, in the end, it still is going around receiving upgrades, new weapons, and hacking and slashing your way towards the next part of the story. But in a new way. People look back at the first Devil May Cry, which I've been doing a series run of. I've finished 4 out of the 5 prior games to 5, just so I can get a good perspective on 5. Like, the first Devil May Cry had nearly zero story to it, and it played the same song, which doesn't even classify as a song, every time you got into battle. At the time, it was such a beloved title, but
PlayStation
no, PlayStation 2.
2, I think, yeah.
Yeah, okay. PlayStation 2 for sure. Yeah, it's like 2000 when it came out. And
I think that game came out with style.
No, that was a question.
And that was pretty much what it had. All it had was.
It was PlayStation 2, not even close to PlayStation 1, man. Okay. It was like one of the gems that sold the 2.
Right.
When you look back on it now and what it's become, as I just finished the DMC reboot, which people didn't like by Ninja Theory, and I'm going to give a shout out to them because the combat was fucking awesome. And I'm playing 4 right now, and I'm just looking at the evolution of this series and how they've added significant story, great cutscenes, like emotional family ties and drama. Have done more with exploration and puzzles, and just added so much to the combat stream of things that I've seen a steady improvement, just like I did with the God of War series. And people just decide that they're not going to like something beforehand, and they shoot it down. And I guess my message to all these people is just stop being such jaded fucks and realize it's in your fucking head. You've become lame, not the games. Like, go out there and see some prime colors. Go to Disneyland with your kid or with your wife.
Oh, okay, hold on.
No.
Kingdom Hearts 3. Dude, come on. That seemed... Am I jaded to think that it should have come years ago? It didn't need this long and so
Dude,
many...
I'm gonna cut you off on that because you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about with Kingdom Hearts 3. There were 10 titles in that series.
I know.
Three sold more than any of them, which says no. This is not jaded.
No,
that
am I jaded?
Without spoiling
waited
anything.
too long to have 3. Why was there one?
Yes, because there was a shit ton of titles in between then. Kingdom Hearts 3 was actually Kingdom Hearts 10.
There's 13 total games. Yeah. Why did we have to wait for so I'm saying
because
they all came out
because there was
handhelds.
A huge story to tell. Birth by Sleep was a major entry. It was a much bigger game than 2 was. And then all these got re-released back on the PS3, and then they released them on the PS4. And if you know, and people want to bitch about last year's 2.8 final chapter prologue, but if you play the first couple hours of Kingdom Hearts 3, that makes sense too. Like, Nomura made everything make sense, and the wait was 100% worth it, and it's got a future for the franchise written into the very final ending, which I'm not going to spoil. So, yeah, the wait was worth it, and it will continue to be worth it if they keep up the level of quality they've shown. Just because it has a number doesn't mean shit. Like, Devil May Cry 5 came not 11 years after 4. So, I mean, it's not really much of a difference, but there was only one title in between there, and that wasn't even widely received. But the only difference is they announced Devil May Cry 5 not less than a year before it came out.
Resident Evil, we've got like 1, 2, 3, Code Veronica, 4, 0. You know what I mean? Like up and down all the time. But what I was saying about
then were those ones on the DS with on the ship. What were those ones? The Resident
Mercenaries ones, yeah.
Mercenaries there was another like sub series.
Revelations.
Revelations,
yeah.
1 and 2.
They made that into a movie.
They're not very good, those games. Not compared to the mainline games.
Revelations 1 was better than 5 for me.
Thank you, Mark, for saying that word. Mainline games. GTO. I'm adding on to my question. Does it make me jaded to think that we didn't have to wait? Because the mainline games are 1, 2, and 3 for me as someone who doesn't know the universe. I learned about the universe through you. We talked about it. Then I went and did a little bit of homework. I played 2 of those, middle games on 3DS.
The answer to your question is no, because you're not talking about the game itself and its quality in that perspective. What you're talking about is the wait for it and the number. And Kingdom Hearts is a very kind of unique situation in the fact that if you haven't experienced them or you don't know the story, it's kind of like you're not gonna get it. So it was a developer's choice, which paid off in the end.
It didn't even sell that well, actually, did it?
That's why I'm saying. It has a good score.
It sold more than any in the series.
In terms of like what people thought with the wait, everyone expected this to be like sell millions and millions.
Okay. So you're saying
it sold 5 million.
You're saying like it's not a Black Panther, but it's a Captain Marvel. Like it's up there, but the numbers just kind of gonna be different. Okay, not everybody's gonna.
And also, what I was
what
I was trying to say before about the wait is Square Enix. They work on so many other games at the same time. They're not like a Rockstar. They haven't spent 10 years just making Kingdom Hearts, They've been doing so much other stuff.
Final Fantasy, NieR, Dragon Quest, Octopath,
Lost Sphere, I Am Setsuna, all these other little smaller RPG projects. They do so much stuff.
They definitely had their lull, but I think over the last 5 years, Square Enix has shown their love for what they do, and they've given people the games that they want, and they've given people chances to play games they might have missed, while constantly working on new franchises and recreating their old. So they got their shit together. They know what they're doing, just like Capcom.
Hands down.
Shout out to Capcom
too. Capcom, because Capcom and Konami used to be neck and neck back in the day, but Konami have done jack shit for ages.
Dude, they're coming out.
Where's Atlas? Where's Atlas been since P5? I miss Atlas.
Konami's coming out with
Shin Megami Tensei 5 announcement.
Sorry, GTO.
Yeah, the Konami collection's
coming out, and that's only all arcade games, arcade versions, enhanced.
Don't say Konami. Don't say Konami. They make all the money off of pachinko and shit, man.
They have all these
anymore, man.
gambling machines in Japan. Yeah, that's what they make their money on.
I visit Roppongi when I go there just so I can give the finger to their headquarters.
But look at Capcom remaking Resident Evil 2. If Konami remade Silent Hill, it would be amazing. It would sell loads, but they won't.
Yeah, they won't because they're too busy spending their money on pachinko parlors. Sorry, that's the truth. Capcom stuck to its fans. What its roots did. They took Monster Hunter and they made it the biggest thing in the West. That was an impossible thing to do. They made Devil May Cry survive again. They made Resident Evil brand new again with its anime feel, with its actual characters, after fucking it up with 6 and making something from 7 that was a great game that really didn't tie into the series at all. So and not only that, Mega Man's alive.
Oh yeah, Mega Man too. Yeah.
Capcom fucking bowing to you. Done. And even Ubisoft has been better. But Konami, don't even fucking say that name in front of me.
I'm just saying that some of the old school boys, like guys who used to game back in the day with they might appreciate a 50th year anniversary all arcade completely enhanced for handheld. It's coming to the Switch, it's going to every other platform, it's on PC as well, hopefully.
Yeah, they've got three collections. There's that collection, the Castlevania collection, and the Contra collection. So 3 separate collections coming.
While they pump out Metal Gear Survive to try and get everyone to spend microtransaction money. The difference is Konami has a shitload of IPs that they still own the rights to, and
They don't do anything with it, yeah.
Yeah, all people want from them, all people want and desire is for them to release another one with another name, even if it is dated, just so we can have something new, right? We want a new, actual, real Castlevania. You know, Kojima, they fucked up with him and killed their best fucking franchise that they had, Metal Gear, and that was just terrible. And what they've done with all their other franchises is just unspeakable. Like, people are begging, like, oh my god, you know, Bloodstain's coming out. It reminds me so much of Symphony of the Night. But they could have made another game with Alucard, another actual canon Castlevania game with the same formula, with a dated formula that everyone wants. And then when that came out and got its 9s, everyone could have shat on that too, because every time people get what they want, they turn into negative fucks, and they're like, oh, this isn't good. I played this game 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Here's the question. What game that would fall under how you feel about this dated versus jaded argument would you actually... Because you kind of like shat on Konami and you're jaded with them.
They're not a game company anymore.
Yeah, they're not.
No, I'm not jaded with them at all.
They're lazy.
No, if they started releasing new games that showed some heart, I would actually love to play them. But what they did with Hideo Kojima, they literally cut him and his entire Metal Gear squad off of their company simply because they wanted to take their money and put it into pachinko parlors, and that's just financial fact. You walk around Japan, you see Konami gambling places everywhere, and they're just like old fucking 50-year-old, 60-year-old men and women drinking, fucking gambling away on their Metal Gear machines. Like, that's not putting heart into your franchises. Capcom's been doing that, and obviously Capcom has been barely changing stuff. For Monster Hunter World, Capcom actually took out features, and they just added in a couple ones. They just made it more accessible.
So
they're safe. Like, we're not going to...
Sorry, please.
Yeah, you go.
It's safe for me to assume that if we talk about companies like Capcom and Square Enix, they're using dated formulas, but they've not got their followers jaded with their work. But Konami has got their followers jaded with their work.
No, I'm just saying that's irrelevant to the conversation because they're not producing new software.
They're not doing anything. Yeah. They're lazy. They don't fucking make anything.
The question was like kind of a large one, so since we've already had the discussion, I'll just shoot right to it. I would like you to name a game that made you feel jaded yourself.
That's fair, because we've all done it.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, the first one I'm going to say that I definitely, and I could give you 10, but like this is one that comes to mind that I definitely didn't give a great shot to, was The Last Guardian. Because I remember playing Shadow of the Colossus, even with its poor controls, and back in 2006, and the remake, and just loving what Team Ico did with their heart, because they've only had like 3 major titles that were exclusives in the last, I don't know, 17 years now, starting with Ico itself. And I remember in 2005 E3, when they announced The Last Guardian, it was supposed to be the best fucking PS3 title that ever hit the face of the earth. And that was when they announced Final Fantasy.
It looked beautiful, though, yeah.
Yeah, by the way, that E3, they also announced Final Fantasy Versus 13, which became 15, and they also announced Neo, which was released in 2016 or 17. So, yeah, when The Last Guardian finally came out, and it really wasn't anything more than people expected it to be back in 2005, I had the collector's edition, including the big Trico statue, and I was just like, oh, this looks pretty. It feels like Shadow of the Colossus. Oh, look, there's another RPG out. I'm going to play that instead. And I never gave it the fair shot that it had. And until recently, one of my students in school said, hey, Mr. Z, that game, The Last Guardian, looks really cool. It really reached out to me. I want to try it out. And then I realized this person didn't play the others. This person saw this project for what it was, for the concept that it was, because they're not jaded. They didn't have that I've been there before thing, and I have students asking me about, they want to play Street Fighter 2. They want to play hack and slash. They want to play racers. They want to, like, I've even had people talk to me about Ridge Racer.
Right.
Sorry, wasn't The Last Guardian slightly new in formula, that you kind of had that dog that you'd, not that dog, but that big creature thing where you kind of raised it and it got bigger and it learned different abilities. It was kind of like you had like this giant Tamagotchi thing that you trained and used to pass certain puzzles. Yeah. So that was quite new. Like, it was like a new thing, isn't it?
But that's kind of in a sense, but it was all kind of programmed in. Like, a lot of it was automatic.
Yeah. It was a new concept, though, wasn't it? I mean, you could say Nintendogs, you train your dog, but that's a total different kind of fucking game.
Mark, that's not the question here. Like, we're not saying, but I just asked whether if he felt that jaded feeling with the game, and that was The Last Guardian. I'm going to shoot the same question back at you now. What was the last game that you felt like, it's the same formula? I'm pretty sure you might say Smash, but why don't you take a hit at the question? What last game made you feel jaded?
Smash. No, yeah, Smash, but I'll not say that.
You're allowed.
Well, fighters all the time. I played Mortal Kombat X, Street Fighter 5. All the new fighters all feel like the last fighters. I don't know. Well, FIFA every year. This is fucking same, isn't it? But I mean, we still buy it because we got the updated teams, updated players, and all the stuff like that. But I don't know. Yeah, a lot of
you just gave us three. It's hard to say because you have to look at and be like, what am I jaded about? And that's what we're doing. Is what I encourage most gamers to do, is to look back at yourselves and think, what am I jaded about? Bruce, how about you? What are you jaded on?
Me? Well, I was just taking a piss, and thank God I came in and put my headphones on. Just the same.
That's why he asked me first. That's why I was on the spot. I was still trying to think. It was like,
was that Japanese garden music we're supposed to play when people piss? We haven't cut that yet.
My last game, dude, which was the last game that I played? Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah, okay.
World War II was... And also, like...
Awful. I hated that.
I mean, the whole thing with Call of Duty and all these Apex Legends, like, I'm not dissing on any of these games. I'm just saying, please...
Yeah, we don't piss on games. We love them.
No, you're not dissing. You're just pissing.
Nah, fuck that.
Oh, no, you finished pissing. You finished pissing.
Please give me something new. Give me something.
They did. They took you to space one year, didn't they? Call of Duty in space, one of them, wasn't there?
No, there wasn't.
No.
There was.
Call of Duty World War II was the last game that came out.
No, but there was a Call of Duty in space, 100%. Check it out.
All right, I'll look that
Check
up.
it out.
Maybe
Call of Duty doesn't even Call of Duty doesn't even have a campaign anymore.
Well, World War II did. The campaign was pretty crap.
This was my jaded moment.
All right. Okay.
Let me have this moment. Let me have the mic. I gotta have the mic.
Go.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, World War II made me feel very bad about the game itself. So I was still living in the same city as Mark was. I went out and bought the physical. I went and got the physical from the store itself and bought another controller so we can do zombies. Not with Mark, with another friend of ours called Aiden. Shout out to Aiden. Huge Resident Evil fan. He and I, he put in the money for the controller. He said, dude, let's get Call of Duty. I'll pay the money for the controller and you can keep it. It's a gift. Christmas come early for you, sort of. So he buys that thing. We come back. We sit on the couch. The first thing we do is let's play this zombie thing, okay? And we're going through the thing and it's fun for the first 20 minutes. And then 20 minutes later, we're like, okay, we just hit wave 22. When is this supposed to end? And
it just goes and goes, I think.
Yeah, it goes up to wave 190 something and then it goes back to wave 1 again. Basically, there is no end to the zombie mode in that version, like World War II game. There is no end to it. Now, post that...
Is there ever?
No, there is, in the first ever one they had, I think they had in Blackout, the first ever zombies they had that Nuka-Cola or something that you had to push, that you had to collect things and stuff, and you had... I went up to...
Nuka-Cola's Bethesda.
Nuka-Cola, it's Fallout, isn't it?
Yeah,
Fallout.
but they had something like a machine that you needed to get to a room where you could go and push that button, turn on the electricity. I might be mixing up maps here. They have that in this one. Yeah, but
they had that in this one as well.
That's what it wasn't the same, but it was still the same, and it just made me feel really jaded. Just made me feel like shit. Why did I buy this game? Why did this friend of mine spend so much money and just give me a controller?
Yeah.
And
I liked it before, but I don't feel it now.
Yeah.
I liked Call of Duty when I was 15, but I think I've grown out of that. That's just bam, 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 bam. It's just
there is no outgrowing Call of Duty campaign mode, dude. No matter what you say, all of the Call of Duties before World War II campaign modes were fucking phenomenal. The whole thing makes you feel like you're really there. That's the only one game shooter which would make me feel wow.
Halo fucking shits on Call of Duty.
Yeah, no, Halo.
Yeah, agreed. And Gears of War. Sorry.
And Gears of War, yeah.
Halo, Gears of War is up there. Quake 3 Arena, Quake 4. All of these games are
no,
there.
Quake's
PC.
not.
No, dude, don't shit on Quake, man. Don't shit on Quake. No, I'm not
shitting on Quake. I'm just saying, don't compare B with A.
There's this thing.
I'm going to go back and say Dark Forces on the PlayStation 1, the Star Wars first-person shooter was better than Call of Duty.
No, dude. I mean...
There was one thing I was talking about. We're talking about Jaded versus Dated in games, but nobody's mentioned controls in this.
Ooh,
yeah,
very good. Good point. We haven't seen a major controller update in fucking decades.
Not even just that. The control schemes.
X, Y, A, B. Yeah.
A always being this, and the triggers always being shoot, and now becoming accelerators in racing games and things. And
Shout
one
out
thing
to Sony with their polygonal controllers, triangle, square, circle, X. Like, I love that.
Yeah, I like them. Yeah, because they're totally different from the rest of them with the A.
Remember the GameCube controller? And then like when there was 2 analog sticks, we were like, whoa! And then like the Rumble Pack, we were like, shit, it vibrates. And then we were like, whoa, we got shoulder buttons. And it was well, we got 2 shoulder buttons. Now it's like...
We had 2.5. We had 2.5 shoulder buttons in the GameCube. GameCube had 2.5, didn't it? Because it had that ZL thing.
If they added a new button,
but I tell you what,
I'll be like, fuck,
dude. We have 4 new buttons that nobody thinks of as buttons.
Go on.
D-pad that is used as buttons. I was just thinking about this yesterday. Yeah.
Sekiro.
So we have 4 extra buttons that we never thought. We don't class them as extra buttons. We count those face buttons and triggers, and obviously the analog sticks now are buttons as well by clicking them in. That's another one. So that's your R3 and your L3. But also the D-pad is used in so many games now for selecting guns or items,
switching weapons,
and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
correct.
So yeah, a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot of things with controllers that like haven't really changed, but things that we never really classed as changing.
Does that make you jaded? Because I'll tell you what, the Switch controls, the whole idea of holding your controller at the
still the same buttons.
I know it's the same buttons.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. Yeah,
but like the redesign of it was pretty phenomenal, and the way it was.
Yeah, it's sexy.
That is way like that is oozing gaming like dated, but it is so not jaded. Like it makes me feel like so good. I am a Smash player who requires that whole jumping around and nudging right, nudging left, nudging right, but with the Switch version, I just lie in bed and both my hands are under the blanket because it's freezing outside, and I'm clicking buttons just slowly, and I'm not moving around or jerking around. I don't know.
Let me give a comment on that, on this whole thing that might be a good wrap up comment.
Right.
The reason why controllers have stuck to that formula is because it fucking works. Just like a lot of games stick to what they have because it works. In 1986, there was a lot of exploration that hadn't been done yet. A lot of ideas that hadn't come out yet. And while some might say there are unlimited ideas, and that's true, as gamers, we've come across a lot of ones that just really worked well, and we don't desire to see an end of anytime soon. So the current controller formula, until people really have a problem with it, it works. And so I'd like to encourage all gamers out there to think about maybe some things just work, and you should just enjoy them for what they are.
Exactly, GTO. Exactly what I was thinking. Okay, guys, if you want, you can catch us on Facebook, YouTube. We have podcasts on iTunes, Buzzsprout. That's all we've got time for today. We'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.
Word.
See ya.